How you doing, everybody? This is Trader Max here on July 30th, 2024. This is a red flag alert. Of course, it's a little bit too late. It's like closing the barn door after the horses set it on fire. This is for the coin Latte, and I'm going to apologize now to my viewers. I'm not in a good space with some of this stuff, but I'm also in a very good space with what to do from here. We are not a sum of what happens to us. We are a sum of what we do after something bad happens to us. And what do you do when you have been rug pulled? This is a big video for us today. Let's get started. All right, so we're back. Listen, Latte sort of tricked a lot of us. If you're watching this and you were involved in it, it did push all the right buttons to us. It said that it had an owner that had burned a large amount of liquidity. It created a process of development for us that it seemed like it was constantly going up and it was moving on. What they were doing was collecting and having a massive, probably one of the largest farms I've ever seen in this process. With an external group of people. There were a couple of red flags when I first came here. I like to have my devs, I know who they are. Can't be fully doxxed in this world of Anon, but the process that if they are on, are they clear spoken? Can you hear, tonality in their voice, sincerity, those kind of things? And we were kind of missing that because there was no, he had a very bad accent and he kept on stating that he was from Dubai. I'm not sure how much that is true or what is even true about this dev. Eric yesterday did an interview with me where it was very difficult to understand him at times, but very clear at other times. And the concepts of his philanthropic vision was unclear to me. So I started to ask questions on the side as well. I'm not saying I triggered this to happen, of course, but at that time I was almost ready to make a public statement to be very careful in the process because there was a lot that was being said that contradicted certain things. Now, I tried to get into the groups and talked about this, but also there wasn't a real sense of depiction. All I kept on hearing is we're going to go to $1. We're going to go to $1. And there was like exponential growth from those statements from yesterday's meetings that were being done. But about midnight last night, exactly midnight, right? A little creepy. About midnight last night, I got a message from another friend of mine who had invested quite heavily into Latte that it had rug pulled. At first, I thought maybe he got into the wrong coin or he's just messing with me. But this friendship was pretty strong, and I know this person doesn't mess around with people. So I jumped out of bed and I came downstairs to this little nightmare that happened. Now, anytime that this kind of stuff happens, everybody starts shifting in the blame. It's chaos, right? It's like all the little babies in the Matrix that just woke up and found out they're living in reality and they're naked and have tubes in their nose, right? That's basically it, that you've all been concealed into this great grand scheme of things. Now, what physically happened here? How did they get to the rug pull? Because there was no one bag that held that much capita in there for it to be pulled. Well, in all actuality, it did, because there was a group of people that were buying and DCAing and buying and collecting and living off of the buys and sells of the process, collecting into their bags. And if you have a good wallet system, you can store certain percentages not to trigger the sense of things. This is a big one here, 4.9. This is a little bit too big, and most of them were well below it. You do have some big whales that were in the process, but as they were selling off, liquidity was pretty high too. Right now it's 33K, but we were told that there was a lot burned off in the solution. DYOR, do your own research. And that's the tough part. In my series that I'm going to be putting out here, I'm filming a documentary as well as putting together a trading series. I traded Forex for many years. without insider information, this is probably one of the most best and worst scenarios that you could probably get into. I'm making a series on how to investigate the coins. So coin investigation is part of your risk management, right? The other part is how much to put in compared to the risk. If it checks off 10 out of 10 check marks, then you can 100% put your budget, right? Trading budget is a very important thing. These are things you have to determine prior to trading. Trading budget, and not how much you can put in all at once, but you break it up in increments because you want to protect yourself. Also, how to take off profits as you go, as well as earning profits with what you have as what you go. But these are all things that you can do in other coins. And Latte, it's a little too late. Sorry, bad pun. I know. Too soon? Yes. All right. So let's talk about what happened. So as the wallets that all had 2 and 3 and 4% in them, they combined them all into one and sold off in this one big history, this exodus, if you will. At the same time, a couple minutes later, the website disappeared. As you see, big blue screen. Twitter, account got taken down, as you see. Telegram is still there to a degree, right? But the thing is that Telegram was riddled full of haters, and I think they left that. This is the rub. This is the alcohol in the wound. This is the whiskey sour in the wound here. They left it all there and just laughed. Now, when this happens, I can almost tell you where the psychological battles, excuse me, can't even talk this morning, psychological battles begin, right? It goes through like the 12 steps of grief in a way, right? First there's like denial, and then there's like anger, and like then there's like restitution, and then there's like sadness, and then there's retribution, and like all these great things. And I watched them all unfold in each one of these people that were in a VC a dozen times in a half an hour to an hour. We went from all kinds of things like, let's go CTO, let's burn this guy to the ground, let's go hunt him out in Dubai, let's go find, I have evidence where he's at, you know, all this kind of stuff. Where the true reaction of all this should be, yes, in all, but it should be a very big learning experience. Not to completely avoid talking to anybody for the rest of your life, but really to look for the keys of reality for you. And what is that? Well, the sadness is like in this industry of being everybody's anonymous, anon, right? You got to find devs that are completely doxed. What does dox means? It means that you know who they are. They have a relationship with reality and the world. Now, devs got to be careful too. You know, you don't want anybody swatting you. You don't want anybody knowing exactly where you live, all that kind of stuff. But that the people have not just websites. It used to be like if they had a website, they had a Twitter, and they had a Telegram. They put a lot of work into it. But now scammers and ruggers are coming up with creative ways with computer systems and the way they are and how to make multiple wallets and get all that. They can emulate a complete and utter team. 2 or 3 people can put together a multi-million-dollar looking website, but yet it's still sitting on a Wix. So these things are all real important, you know, that when you get into a room of Telegram people, that everybody that's in there is either involved, and you have to know who's involved and who isn't. You have to investigate all the wallets that are coming over, and in that process, know who's who and what's what. If there is a whale group, if you're part of a whale group, you got to know who you're whaled up against, because you don't want one person to collect multiple wallets being multiple people, because there is an opportunity that people have multiple wallets. Anything can be anything in this industry. That's one thing that I'm seeing. I've never seen a rug pool that high before that had this much longevity. This is the longest tail farming rug pool I've ever seen. Now, there's probably other examples out there. There's probably other people that did this. This idea wasn't just invented last night. So, but the good thing is that it happened to me. And why is that good? Because I'm going to expose this thing to death. That's right. I'm not trying so much to expose. If I can find him, I will find him. If I can't, then I just can't, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to spend some time. I have some investigators on the team, and we're going to go forward from here. And as we go on, in the words of Liam Neeson, I have a particular set of skills. You don't know what I used to do before and why I'm here now. So I still have friends in industries that you may not like, Eric. So I appreciate that you have done this. You have awoken me into something, that sleeping bear, that sleeping mentality of I don't quit and I don't stop, especially when I'm looking for somebody. Okay, so that thread out of the way, what are you going to do next? Well, as a consolation prize to all this nonsense people, and I know this sounds pretty hokey, I'm not a vulture. That was another thing last night. We were in there and all these other people, scammers, shillers, advertisers, marketers came out of everywhere. But I want to give you a real deal, a real opportunity. I'm building my trading network out so people can start to trade and learn how to trade. Also, the investigative series to know how to research these different things, where they're at, how to do a who is search, and investigate. Ask questions, and not standard questions like when's marketing, those kind of things, but real questions to ask. Okay, that if they trigger a knee-jerk response, don't trade with the coin. Investigate the Telegram. Are they rating? Are they doing stuff? Is it separated out? Is there a whale team? These are all questions to ask. And if they don't have it on their website, we're going to make sure now that becomes the new meta. Okay, if people don't have a plan, if they're just saying, well, I'm just trying to help a community to grow, and they don't have a plan, run like hell. All right, all this stuff will come out. I appreciate all of your time. For those that bought in, I'm leaving the videos up on the channel. I took away the expose of it. I'm going to put this right next to it as watch this video first before you watch the other ones. You can't buy into Latte. You can still buy into Latte now, but be careful because this is a CTO that's waiting to happen, but we don't know enough on who has these holds to do all of this again. I don't trust CTOs at this level because there's no one person there that has it all yet. It still has to work its all the way around. But when that time comes, if there is a CTO with it, I'll let you all know. All right, that's about all I got for you. If you like what you've heard, and I do apologize that this has happened to you, make sure you go to the link that's in the bio. It's TraderMaxx.GG/Latte, Latte. There's a form on it to fill out for anything that I'm going to be getting into. If you were in this and you have had coin in this, I'm going to give you some free stuff, but you got to prove that you've had the coin and that you lost money in this, right? Because I want to help you out. I want to give you these things to be able to help you out with the process, all right? Not as because I feel bad that this happened because I caused it, but because I feel bad it happened, and I want to give you the powers and the tools to become profitable, proficient traders. All right, I'm Trader Max. I'll see you next time, and as always, trade well.